Yeah. One thing that I see a lot is like when some people see new things, and even when I used to see new things when I was younger, I'd be like, what's this new fad? Like this thing's going to die out soon, right? Whereas now there's so fucking hell, the ropes that David Weck introduced us to, right? When I was younger, I'd probably look at those and be like, what kind of stupid looking fad is this?
Yeah, why are we training arms?
Looking at, right? Yeah. Like looking at somebody fucking putting ropes over their body and going like that. I'd be like, there's a word I would have used a while back years ago that I'm just not going to use, but I'll just be like, what the fuck? But now I won't use that word because it's not okay to use. It's not a good word. But also, at the same time, after doing some of that stuff, I can see, wow, this is really beneficial for the way your body moves, for getting some spinal movement in. It makes a lot of sense. So generally just being open-minded to that type of stuff. And one thing that I love lifting, and bodybuilding is what got me into the gym. But one thing I think is that you can definitely overdo isolation work. Like the whole goal of bodybuilding is to build muscles so that you have, first off, big muscles, but you also have an aesthetic frame. And a lot of isolation work is used to do that. But what tends to happen when you overdo like bicep curls and tricep pushdowns and all these different movements is you can lose the ability for your body to know how to like work together on things, which is why like I think isolation work is good. I'm never going to stop bicep curling and doing other movements. But in the back of my mind, I'm trying to also figure out how can I make sure that I keep movement, right? Overall body movement a part of what I do so that ability isn't lost. Luckily, I do have jiu-jitsu, which is something that has your whole body work together. But I also figure out ways to, get as long of a range and get as much of my body potentially working towards that movement to help me just keep that integrity. Because when you look at high-level bodybuilders move, they might be flexible, but then when you see them walk or you even see them try to run, they look like little mini robots. And long-term, you don't want to move that way. So that's one thing I've kind of adjusted or changed my mind on. Like, I think bodybuilding's cool, but how can you make sure to, and bodybuilding is good for everybody. It's almost good for every sport. You know what I mean? But how can you make sure that you keep the integrity of the way your body moves top of mind as your triceps are getting bigger, right?
And you can mix the two, right? You can do like walking lunges, and you could do box jumps, and you can have that mixed in with drop sets of leg press and things like that, right?
Absolutely. You can do all of that. And you can also make sure that, like, if you're doing something like, we were doing this today, but I was doing some squats. And there's a benefit in spinal compression. A lot of people have talked about how that's beneficial in terms of bone density over time. But one of the things that happens when you're squatting is that your spine, as it should be during your squat, your spine is stiff. And when you get out of underneath the barbell, your spine feels stiff. So while barbell squatting, I was going and I was doing a cable, like a cable Jefferson curl to help decompress, because I'm going from compression that I can go to decompression. And you just try to figure that out with other movements you're doing. Like instead of doing a bicep curl with a really short range, how can you increase that range of that bicep curl? Because now when I do bicep curls, I don't only feel it in my bicep, but when I'm sitting, I'm doing incline bicep curls and my arms out here, I feel a deep stretch throughout this whole line. And that's what I kind of want to feel. My bicep's still working, but everything else is, it's not taking away from my ability to move. So that's something I think is kind of adjusted in the way I look at the way I lift and the way I bodybuild, because I'm never going to stop bodybuilding. Power Project family, your normal shoes are making you weak. This is why I partner with Vivo Barefoot Shoes, because they have a wide toe box, they're flat, and they're flexible. So with every single step you're taking, if you're taking a 10-minute walk outside, or when you're working out in the gym, your feet are able to do what they're supposed to do in this shoe. They have tons of options for hiking, running, training in the gym, chilling and relaxing, casual shoes for if you're out on a date. You need to check them out. And Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, that's over at vivobarefoot.com/powerproject, and you guys will receive 15% off your order automatically. Again, vivobarefoot.com/powerproject. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
Yeah, I think getting in just a variation of movements, thinking about the movements and thinking about like how they can keep you mobile and what are you doing the movements for? I think that's kind of like put that first and foremost. Are you Are you doing an exercise because you're trying to have like a bigger chest? Well, maybe there's a couple different ways you can go about doing it that you're not currently thinking of right now. Could you get your legs to be bigger, but also while you're getting your legs to be bigger, can you keep your range of motion? Can you keep your mobility? Can you increase your bench press but keep your shoulders mobile? Would there be a way for you to maybe finish some workouts with some dips where you get good ranges of motion or something? Just being really thoughtful, just trying to think about, what is this exercise for? What is it doing? How do you want to perform the exercise? Something like a squat. Like if you're trying to squat and you're trying to get, like the main mission of the squat is, I want to have a beautiful looking squat. I want to do full range of motion squats, and I want it to be something that's shared on Squat University. I want to do these awesome full range of motion squats. Well, you probably don't need a lot of weight to do that. And you might not even need a barbell on your back. Maybe you just start with like a goblet squat to get you there first. Maybe you need a slant board and a kettlebell to do a goblet squat off of the slant board, because that's going to get you nice and low. That's going to get your hamstrings resting on your calves. You just have to kind of give some thought to, like, what am I doing this for? Am I just trying to make an Instagram post of me doing the same old thing again? Like a 405 squat? Is that really a 405 box squat? Is that really something that, if you really want to do it and you really like it, then that's fine. Then do it. But if it's to have like some sort of desired result, and to have you head in a particular direction, I think it's important that you review, do you have 2 or 3 reasons behind it that you think are actually going to progress you in that direction? Because if you don't have 2 or 3 good reasons behind it that are going to progress you in that direction, then it's probably not going to help. So I see people do a lot of movements in the gym, or they talk about a lot of things, and I'm like, well, somebody might say that they have just limited range of motion is always the thing that comes to mind. They have limited range of motion with something. And then my follow-up is usually like, what are you doing for that? And then they're usually not doing much for it. They might say, oh, well, I do some stiff leg deadlifts here and there. Well, doing stiff leg deadlifts here and there, obviously it's not really working, because you just mentioned how you have this. Do you want to improve that or not? If you do want to improve it, then let's look at a bunch of things that you might have to be open-minded towards some things that you haven't tried before. You might have to look at Ben Patrick stuff. You might have to look at functional patterns. You may have to do myofascial release. There might be a bunch of things that you might need to do that maybe you don't actually really want to do, but they're going to get you towards that goal.
Power Project family, we appreciate you checking out this clip. Check out another one. Just go check out another one. Or comment down below and let us know what you liked about this one. But we love you guys, and we're going to keep bringing you the heat. So comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, okay? Peace.